Thank you for joining in with Conversation with Dr. Bobby. We're back again to talk about some important things. And today we want to deal with leadership empowerment and crisis management and spiritual care chaplaincy. So we want to implement some things because we're primarily concerned with our veterans. We're concerned with people having stress. And with me today, I have a very good friend, Miss Debbie Parks, and I want her to introduce herself to you all, and then we're going to have a conversation here with Dr. Bobby.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Bobby, and thank you for your service here for this nation. We appreciate it. And thank you for the university as well.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And thanks for kicking off the chaplain services. That's very well needed for our veterans, very well needed for men who have severe depression, other problems that has occurred. So thank you very much for getting that set up. And I look forward to helping you get this introduced and move forward. So
good. In these seasons and these times, people are going through a lot of stress. And one of the things we want to focus on is not just ministry, not just church, but we're concerned with every discipline that you see in the pillars. Because there's a lot of conversation about the 7 mountains, which are the foundation for what people see as a nation living. But we want to focus on the pillars, which are the people.
Right.
And one of the things that people have to understand, there's a whole lot of veterans that has been traumatized that really, if they were healed, they could heal others.
Absolutely. And I think if we have the right leadership from a veteran who's went through some of that process and has overcome the traumatized that's occurred in service, has overcome health issues, and if they've overcome that, then they're able to help their other fellow veterans in that same process and walking through that. Having a buddy, having a group to help, I think it's fantastic. And I think, chaplain service doesn't have to be a 10-step plan like some of the other programs or government-controlled stuff. The chaplain service is free and available for all those who really want to participate and volunteer in this process.
Right.
I think that's a major difference.
And we really want to take the stigma off of it takes somebody from the pulpit to be able to minister to people.
Right.
I think veterans ministering to veterans and them being transformed into becoming chaplains, they have the experience.
Right. Absolutely.
They've experienced the trauma.
Yes.
So they're the very instrument that can be used, because I know a lot of veterans that's out there that's desiring to do anything, but there's not a mechanism for them to do it.
Right.
And that's what we wanted to do.
Right. And to that point, there's no place to go.
Right.
There's no place to gather. There's no buddy pulling the groups together from a leadership perspective to help them get the proper care, help them fit themselves back into society.
Right.
I mean, how do you explain to an employer, I've just spent 10 years in the military in a combat zone killing other humans or killing babies if you're from the Vietnam era. So how do you go to explain that when you want to go get a job? What's your qualifications?
Right.
And that's very difficult for a gentleman in that kind of circumstance or those set of boots.
Right.
To be able to do that.
So when we look at that, I think the approach that we're using is the principles of love, which is the same principles of leadership.
Right.
And when people exercise those, you bring them into an understanding that there is an awareness.
Yes.
And then we talk about the prevention, because if we can get the ones that's been traumatized to actually address the preventions, we can stop the other generations from walking through the mess that we did.
Right.
And so when we look at that, it also brings us into suicide.
Yes.
And see, people don't understand that suicide is something whereby someone believes they're trapped in a situation where there's no way out.
Yeah. And we probably could use a very historical veteran who was one of America's top sniper.
Mm-hmm.
Even after he come back and had probably several doctors around him, different teams of people, his wife reached out to different groups to help him overcome the circumstance. He still, even after he went out and helped the other veterans, because he had started another program, and he still ends up taking his own life.
Isn't that amazing?
And not realizing that there's something more to that. And that's why I think your program is so critical, because there's, been some medical doctors that say your program works and they won't put their stamp of approval on it. So that tells us exactly where the medical syndicate is at.
Yeah, well, it's because of the laws that's against them allowing somebody.
Right.
And one said to me, says, you have the answer to post-traumatic stress.
Absolutely.
But because the credentials that is required by law, they won't hear you.
Right.
The people will hear you.
Right.
But the ones that really need it and need to be instrumental in bringing them to the masses are blocking it.
Right.
Because people don't understand, we have devised out of experience what we call a new natron gene solution.
I like that.
See, new natron.
New.
See, and our focus is a new nature.
Yes.
Which is a nature that's that opposite of human nature. Now we're saying there is a divine nature which will give you an answer that it will be in you.
Yeah.
So it works from the inside out.
Absolutely.
So we're really functioning from the realm of conscience.
Yes.
Because when people's conscience are set free, they'll be free.
Yeah.
And we've been given the science called biodynamics.
Mm-hmm.
And people that listen to my podcast have heard that. But one of the things that happens is biodynamics literally says divinity
mm-hmm.
in humanity through technology establishing a whole new economy.
Yes.
So no one is exempt.
No one's exempt.
We're dealing with the people in the sociological realm,
yes.
the psychological realm,
yeah.
the physiological realm, because all of these are important.
Right.
Because man is a tripartite being, spirit, soul, and body, and the whole man has to be healthy.
Yeah. The whole individual has to be healthy.
Right.
I think we can see definitely when you're unhealthy in one area, it affects the other, maybe 6 pillars in your life.
Mm-hmm.
If you're unhealthy physically, then it's going to affect the other 6 pillars of your life.
Right.
And that's important, whether you're, you've got, I would consider your 4 inches of dirt or your stinky thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You don't need to be depressed every day. There's a very high influencer that would say, go out and get to the gym for 30 minutes.
Right.
Go jump rope. Go run. Go lift some weights. Go box. Go do something. Get out there and get away from your technology and rebuild one of those 7 pillars, which is your physical being.
Absolutely.
And some of these combat vets have come out with several diseases. Some of them come out with no arm, no leg, and they need that time to rehabilitate themselves. And it's in the physical realm besides the spiritual being that has to take place as well.
So it's the male as well as the females.
Yeah, we are not barring out the females.
When we talk about the females, some people think it's the same, but I really believe there is a difference because there's a different makeup of female versus males, whether people want to believe it or not. But God designed it that way.
Absolutely. We're designed different.
Yeah.
We are absolutely designed different. There's a difference between the males and there's a difference between the females. Men run very logical.
Mm-hmm.
And they should be very aggressive, okay, but a controlled aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's important for men to teach their sons the same.
Right.
For females, they need to be teaching the next generation. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And they need to really learn how to be mothers.
Okay.
They need to know how to care for for the younger ones. That's very important. There's several aspects where women have been forced into the work field, have been forced into male positions because a male won't pick up and do the job.
Right. So when we start talking about those, then the first question, some of the question that comes up is the question about women, and do this one quick because we're gonna get out of here in a minute, and I'm not gonna give you a whole lot of time. That we'll get in a lot of trouble.
Oh, well,
women
that's
in
what might end in
combat.
trouble. Oh, please.
You got 10 seconds.
I got 10 seconds. Well, I'll make it short. I don't believe women should be in combat. No disruption to your podcast or what you support, sir, but and thank you for your service as well. But women should not be in combat.
But the other thing is, now when we see that, we understand that now it's a possibility that we're going into the draft. I think people ought to consider what is the role of women in this new day. And so bringing this thing into a close, I want to thank you for being with me and helping me introduce this chaplaincy program, which I believe will help veterans as well as business and medical people in psychological places.
Absolutely. Thank you, Bobby.